Let's go. Steak. Lunch. Steak and eggs. Lunch. Steak and eggs. Come on, Kelly. Lunchtime. Who's not excited for lunch? All right, guys, it's time for PE. But before we line up, I did hear some of the teachers say we were a little bit loud last time when we went to lunch, so let's make sure we're super quiet lining up in the hallway. When I call you by tables, make sure you have your gym shoes and your clothes, okay? Let's start with this table right here. You guys look ready. Push your chairs in and line up. We'll do this table in the corner right here. Nice job. You're welcome. How about you guys right here? You look ready? The front table, go ahead, push your chairs in and line up. I'm sorry. And then the back table here. Someone's excited for gym class? Excited? All right, last table, come on up. Show me that your line is ready to walk in the hallway. All right, go ahead and start, and I'll meet you guys. Kelly, what's wrong? We gotta go to gym.
I don't want to go.
You wanna go? Come on, it's fun. You guys are playing basketball today. You love basketball.
No, I don't.
Come on, let's go. Come on. I have a conference with your parents this afternoon. What am I supposed to tell them?
I'd rather stay here.
Well, unfortunately, you can't stay here. You have to go to gym class. So why don't I help walk you down? Come on, let's do it.
Why do I have to go?
You'll have fun. You're fun.
Horrible.
What's horrible about it?
Everything.
How about this? How about we talk about it later? But you got to get to gym class now. Come on. Let's go. I'll walk with you. We can talk and walk at the same time. Come on, Kelly. It'll be okay. You love basketball. No? Thank you for coming in today.
Oh, thank you so much.
So happy that you're here today to talk about Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
So you sound like you have some concerns. What are some things that you're seeing at home in terms of how Kelly's doing at home?
She's a smart little girl, and I don't know what is going on, but everything is a struggle with her lately. I can't get her to get on the bus without an argument. She is always complaining of a headache or a stomach ache. She's actually vomited, and I just don't want to push her too much, but I think it's making it worse. I'm just wondering what you're seeing in the school.
So actually, it sounds like a lot of those things that are happening at home are also happening at school. The other day, we were going to PE class, which she usually loves.
Yeah, she loves that.
Yeah, and they were playing basketball, which I know has been of interest to her in the past, and she just wouldn't go. She was kind of digging her heels in. The rest of the class was lined up, ready to go, and Kelly just hung back at her desk. So I really had to encourage her to go.
Okay.
It seems like something's going on. She has complained a few times also of a stomach ache or a
Yes.
headache. Sent her to the nurse multiple times, but nothing really comes of it. And it seems that she's a little bit disengaged. Something else is happening.
Yeah, very distracted. Homework is
distracted.
very difficult, and I have to admit that I tend to rescue her a little bit, and Dad really tends to want to be much more firm.
Okay.
He isn't able to be here today because he has a very unpredictable work schedule, and that makes it very just hard because it makes me just a little nervous too, because I think as she gets older it's just going to get harder and harder, and
Sure.
we are just on, he just says just drag her on the bus or just force her to do her homework, but she cries, and it just breaks my heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you both want the best for Kelly, and
Yes.
I'm on the same page with you. So the three of
I
us
appreciate
really,
that.
absolutely. I think she's a very bright little girl. She has a lot to offer, and I want to really kind of have that come out the rest of our school year. Make sure she's working up to her full potential and just happy. That's our main
Yes,
goal, right?
yes.
So it sounds like all three of us want the same thing.
Definitely.
One thing that I'm thinking of with her anxiety is I can speak with our school psychologist to get any strategies to use in the
Okay.
classroom. And I'm thinking if she's complaining a lot about stomach aches or headaches and even has gotten sick, that maybe you want to speak to her pediatrician just to make sure there's nothing going on.
That's a great
medical.
idea. Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll maybe go forward with that, and I'll check back in with you, have another conference.
That sounds great.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hi Deb, thanks for meeting with me.
Yeah, let's talk about Kelly.
Yes,
What's
so-
going on?
I just met with Mrs. Brown, Kelly's mom. We had
Mm-hmm.
a great conference. It was pretty productive, I think. But we're both noticing Kelly's pretty anxious in the classroom, and she's having
Okay.
some anxiety at home as well. Mom said that at home she's feeling pretty sick, and she even made herself throw up one time. Doesn't want to get on the bus, has a hard time doing homework. In school, she's kind of digging her heels in. She refused to go to PE the other day. I really had to encourage her, come on, let's keep going, let's keep going. I really think she's capable, and I think that in the past she's proven herself so. She's a smart girl. I just don't know what strategies we can use to help her.
Well, it sounds pretty elevated. Sometimes we've had a lot of success with giving them like a golden pass. That way, anytime she's really feeling like that anxiety's creeping up on her, she's getting uncomfortable, she can take the pass at her leisure and come down to my office. She can, go to a special spot we get for her, and that way she can kind of just bring herself back down to baseline.
I get what you're saying. I just don't know if that's going to work with our classroom because we're pretty fast-paced, and I've seen her accomplish, certain tasks in the past. I don't think that she needs to necessarily leave and have that pass.
Okay. Well, what about something in the classroom? What if we arranged a little area in the back? She's got like a little nest area by the bookcase, and she can feel comfortable allowing herself to go, removing herself from the situation a little bit. She can go to that area, and that way she's still part of the general environment.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying also, and I kind of respectfully feel like that wouldn't work in our classroom either. We have a lot of kids who would be distracted by that, and I just don't think that's going to be right for Kelly.
Hello. Hi, Deb. Hi, Kate.
Hi.
Sorry I'm late.
I'm glad
I
you
just-
can join
Yeah,
us.
I know that you wanted to talk about Kelly, right?
Yeah.
So do a little problem solving. Tell me a little bit about what we're seeing, or we're getting up
Sure.
to speed.
So in the classroom, Kelly recently has been showing signs of anxiety. She's kind of digging her heels in, being a little bit stubborn about either starting a task or going to lunch, going to PE. And I spoke with Mom. Mom is seeing similar things at home, even to the point where Kelly's now feeling sick to her stomach, feeling she has a headache, doesn't want to come to school. So Deb and I were just talking about some strategies that I could
Yeah.
use. Deb was suggesting, do you want to talk to her about what
Sure, we talked about either maybe like a little golden pass where she can just remove herself entirely, and if that doesn't work, Kate was saying maybe something that would work better for the class. I was thinking along the lines of somewhere right in the classroom where she can remove herself from the situation and try to calm herself, have a quiet little comfortable place.
So it sounds like I'm hearing you have kind of two different approaches, right? And I would say they're both right and they're both wrong. But together, I think that's one of the things we want to do is kind of blend those together and figure out what does Kelly need. Because it sounds like that she, the anxiety is coming from somewhere. We don't really know yet what the triggers are, right? Or where it's, because it seems to be happening at home. But I guess we want to set her up for success, right? But keeping those high expectations.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if we could maybe come up with a plan with some interventions that show empathy, but also, are consistent and are, have high expectations in what we believe in.
So what might that look like for our schedule during the day in our classroom routines?
So one of the things I'm thinking is a check-in and check-out. And what I mean by that is maybe in the morning you can meet with Kelly and talk about how strong she feels that day and what her day might look like. And think about maybe at the end of the day, take a look at the day and say, Kelly, how did you feel about today? And how do you think it went? From my perspective, I think it looked pretty great. A lot of positives, and you seemed really strong today. How did you feel about the day?
I love that idea. And then how about instead of a golden pass where she's just leaving the classroom at her leisure, we try to find 2 natural breaks in the day where maybe she could, instead of going to the nurse, coming to my office, and that would be another additional time for her to kind of regroup, know she'd have a minute to kind of get herself back in check and know that she'd be touching base with me where I can empower her to say, you're doing great.
I think that's a great idea also, and I think she can come see you when it's not disrupting our schedule, like on the way down to lunch. And at the end of the day, I'm happy to check in with her to ask her how she thinks her day went, and definitely pump her up for her ride home and tell her all the positive things that I thought she did during the day, and hopefully she sees some of the same things.
So I think those are really, really both great ideas, and I really appreciate the dialogue and the collaboration here because that really is the only way we're going to be able to really help Kelly and all of our kids and build relationships and build trust and really come up with practical interventions that we can see and hear in the classroom, right? And I think you will feel better as the teacher, and we will feel better as the consultants when we talk to Kelly or to the parent. I think the parent will feel less anxious knowing that we have some really good interventions that they can even try at home.
Absolutely.
So
Thank
good
you
job.
for the support.
I think it sounds great.
That's really good.
Hey, how are you?
Doing okay.
Yeah, you've had a lot going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm actually I'm very happy about her baseline health. So I saw Kelly, who we've known each other since she was. I remember when I first held her; she was so tiny.
yes.
I saw her. We did the physical. Everything is fine.
Good,
physically, she's looking great. Her growth is right on track.
Good,
Development. She's smart as a whip.
She's a very smart
she
girl.
really is, which is sort of a blessing and a curse, right? Because she's tricky and
Right.
she knows what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, she's very, very smart, but she analyzes things too. So you had asked about the progressive relaxation, and I kind of went into it, but I feel like I didn't give you quite enough detail maybe last time. Kelly and I talked about it actually today.
Oh, great.
And she seemed pretty keen on the idea, especially maybe Sunday nights when she starts to get upset and not wanting to go to school and having trouble sleeping. What did you say? She was up like 14 times before you finally put her in bed?
Yes.
It's hard. So what we talked about was we call it progressive relaxation, or we can call it like relaxing your body. And the thing that I wanted to reinforce with Kelly is that she could do it like when she wanted to fall asleep. So if she was laying in her bed, she would kind of take some deep breaths and close her eyes and tell her feet to relax. Take another deep breath and then tell her legs to relax. And she, we talked about it. She did it on the exam table and she said, I feel like I'm getting heavier. It was really good.
Great.
So she kind of feels herself sinking into the chair or the table. And then you take another breath and you relax your stomach. And then your chest, your shoulders, and all of a sudden you do sort of feel like you're, getting a little bit sunken in and more relaxed.
That's great.
And then if she's trying to go to sleep, she can go from the bottom up and then from the top back down. And she can do that as many times until she falls asleep. And usually, I had a little boy the other day tell me, I got to my tummy and I was out. It was cute. I don't remember anything else after that. So that's a good technique that she can do, and she could do it in class. You can kind of teach her. It's like a little secret stealthy thing, like nobody will know that you're relaxing your feet or your knees, or you're telling your thighs to relax and your tush, stuff like that. So it can be sort of a thing that she can do if she's feeling anxious or if she's having trouble sleeping or anything at all.
Okay.
And the deep breathing you can reinforce too with that.
Okay.
But I think for now, that screening tool that you filled out, the questionnaire.
Yes.
It definitely shows that there's some anxiety going on.
Okay.
So, which we kind of knew might
Right.
be the issue.
Not a big
right?
surprise.
No. So here's the tricky part, though. Anxiety is tough. It's one of those things where she's so overwhelmed and feeling afraid, but we have to push her. We have to kind of push her to do the
Right,
things that are
right.
uncomfortable, and
Right.
it's uncomfortable for us too.
I know. I get anxious when she gets anxious.
Oh, it's
and,
normal.
Yeah.
You're a good mom. If you didn't care,
Thank
you
you.
wouldn't be here either. So I think what we need to do is, not missing school will be
Right.
sort of a new ground rule.
Right.
And we can talk about them like these are just house rules.
Okay.
They are rules that we all have to follow. And as much as I would love to, I love spending time with you, and we have all of our mornings and evenings and weekends. And during the day, your job is school.
Okay.
And you might even want to start talking about it. I remember you had said before that it starts kind of Sunday night.
Yes,
Where she starts to get a
definitely.
little nervous about going
Right.
back to school.
Right.
That's sometimes the toughest night. We call it the Sunday sorrows and the Monday morning moans.
Yes, definitely. Oh,
So, that would be the time to start just peppering it into the conversation, like on Sunday, like maybe even having her, what do you want to wear to school tomorrow? Or I wonder what the weather's going to be like. Or, and make it very clear that that's what's happening tomorrow morning
Okay.
when you're getting on the bus.
All right.
So I think that we'll stick to this plan for now. I think,
Okay.
You're on board, Dad's on board. You guys
Yes.
are doing an amazing job. You're
Oh,
such
thanks.
good parents, really.
Thank
She's
you.
very lucky. She's a
Thank
good
you.
girl. Teachers, totally spot on. School nurse. I mean, you've got a lot of really good resources
Right.
at your at the school.
I feel like we get good support,
Yeah.
and we're moving forward. It's a little slow.
Well, and it will be, right? However long it takes to get here, we have to, kind of undo all of that
Right,
too.
right.
And these are skills she'll have forever, so it's
Right,
really good.
right.
But if for some reason I think we stick to this plan, if we continue to to see progress and she's doing well, we just keep doing what we're doing and we
Okay.
tweak it as necessary,
Okay.
right? And you and I can have a plan for how often we'll talk. And,
Great.
And everybody's on board. If for some reason things are not getting better or we hit a kind of hit a standstill, we can always incorporate some therapy, right?
Okay.
So that trick, that progressive relaxation kind
Right,
of thing, and
right.
the deep breathing, that's one of the things that you'll learn in CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. It's a really good type of therapy for anxiety.
Okay.
And we've got lots of great people in town
Okay, great.
that do CBT. So, but that's just one or two tricks that I taught you. They have an arsenal of tricks, a plethora of them. So I think if if we get to that point, we'll figure out who is a good fit for Kelly.
Okay.
And that would be the next level. Or
Okay,
next
that
step.
makes sense.
And I bring it up because I think it's good to talk about it ahead of time to sort of have a plan B and
Right.
looking forward and that kind
Especially
of
with vacations coming up.
Yeah.
That transition back to school
Yeah.
can be tough.
thing. Yeah, and we might even need to do that just for a little while.
Okay.
Just to kind of give her
A
shore
little
up a
booster.
bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Good. And I think school's on board, so you're good there.
Great.
And we keep in close communication.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I
Thanks
think it should.
again.
Of course. Anytime.
Good morning. Thanks for coming with us together
Oh,
again today.
Thank you for agreeing to meet again.
Absolutely. We wanted to check in and see how Kelly's doing at home.
A little bit better. I have to say, it's not as much of a struggle to get her to go and get on the bus. If she tells me she's not feeling well, I kind of just, tell her to take a deep breath and, I also have been mentioning that she can check in with you when she gets to school, and I think that's helping her
Yeah,
kind of bridge
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, I'm noticing that as well. I think Mondays are still a little tricky,
Yeah.
as they could be for other students as well.
Right.
But I noticed that as the week progresses, she's really doing well and doesn't feel as behind, I think,
Yeah.
as much as her other students or the other students in the classroom. And I also noticed that she's not going to the nurse as much. She's not
Yes.
complaining of headaches or stomach aches.
That's great.
She seems to be doing a little better. I think the checking in is a really important process for her as we continue working with Kelly.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I've noticed far fewer check-ins. I think she's really progressing.
Good.
I'm seeing some good progress.
I think the plan is, I would say it's working. I mean, it's going to take some time. I mean, she did have one meltdown that I needed to kind of intervene with.
Right.
But I kind of expected that.
Okay.
I would have been surprised if there wasn't that, because that's Kelly and that's what we're
Right.
trying to work on. And it does take time for kids to kind of get used to a plan,
Right.
and for us to kind of see, build that trust and see some improvement.
Right.
But it sounds like there seems to be across the board a feeling that we're going at least in the right direction.
Definitely.
I too am seeing some considerable progress. She's checking in far less often than she used to, and I think that's a good thing. I think she's feeling more confident and
It sounds like the plan has some successes. It sounds like you're all feeling good about what's happening. I know that there was one meltdown that I had to intervene with, but I would expect that. I wouldn't expect it to be, a total change overnight. It's going to take some time, because I think Kelly's got to build some trust with us, and we have to kind of put some time in. But it does sound like we're going in the right direction, and that we should all feel good about that. And I feel good. I think Kelly probably does feel good. We probably don't see it right now, but I think we will. I think we have to just kind of, keep moving forward. So I think it's so great that we all kind of came together, and I think that's a really important piece. So why don't we plan to come together again, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks? I think, we at this point we should kind of come together quicker, just to see how things are going day to day, because it seems so far, I feel like positive energy right now. And especially for you, Mom, I want you to feel good and know that you're supported and that Kelly's supported.
Thank you so much.
And that's helpful.
And in the meantime, of course, call us at any point if we
Okay.
hit a bump in the road.
All right, thank you.
I think it's a great plan for us to meet again in a couple weeks. And
Oh, that sounds
how about
good.
maybe including Dad next time? Is he available?
Yes, if we have, even a couple days, like lead time, I can let him know.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
he can be here.
Another thing I was thinking is, I think it might be wise to also ask Kelly if she wants to join us. 'Cause
Yes.
she's a smart girl, and I know she has a lot of opinions and things to say.
Yes.
And she should take part in the process too.
I think she'd appreciate that,
Yeah,
given
that's a
her
really
perspective.
Good
Absolutely.
plan. I think that's a really good idea.
Okay, let's plan on that then, and we'll
All right.
definitely give you a heads up on when we can
Great.
meet.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in.